Hello, welcome to Flow and Restore Yoga. My name is Michelle Chua. For this practice, which begins with Vinyasa flow and moves into Yin and restorative yoga, and then a guided 10 minutes of meditation, you'll want to have several kinds of props: 2 blocks, a strap, a bolster or pillow, and a blanket. Let's start in any comfortable seat of your choice. You might even like to sit up on your bolster or your blanket. Today, I'd like to bring some focus into your third eye center, or the sixth chakra. So here are some self-inquiry questions just to get a little more of an idea of how energy is flowing through your sixth chakra. Do you notice subtle visual details in your surroundings? Do you have vivid dreams and remember them? Do you have psychic experiences, intuitive accuracy, seeing auras, sensing future events, and so on? Are you able to imagine new possibilities as solutions to problems? Are you able to see the mythic themes or the bigger picture of what's happening in your life? How would you rate your ability to visualize? And last, do you have a personal vision that guides you in life? So you may already know that the sixth chakra has a lot to do with our imagination, our ability to sense or see beyond our physical senses. As Albert Einstein said, imagination is more important than knowledge. It is this gift of seeing both inner and outer that is the essence and function of chakra 6, also called the brow chakra. It's located in the center of the head behind the forehead, either at eye level or slightly above, varying from person to person. It is associated with the third eye, an etheric organ of psychic perception floating between our 2 physical eyes. The third eye sees beyond the physical world, bringing us added insight, just as reading between the lines of written material brings us deeper understanding. The Sanskrit name of this chakra is Ajna, also pronounced Agnya, which originally meant to perceive and later to command. So there's just a little bit about it to start getting our focus on your sixth chakra. We'll move into some physical practice, which mostly will be the yin part that will be addressing the sixth chakra, and definitely into our meditation, which will include a particular pranayama to help us with our visualization practice. So let's begin. As you're sitting still, tall, and grounded, maybe close the eyes. Begin to scan in your mind's eye throughout your physical body, observing what you're feeling in different parts. Gathering your physical state of being, notice the quality of the breath in its natural flow. To sense your energetic state of being. Begin to observe any activity in your mind, kinds of thoughts, whether the mind feels focused or scattered, anything. Have there been repeating thoughts, especially just now, that may be influencing how you feel emotionally? What is present for you emotionally? Now let the breath enter a little slower, filling up a little more space in your lungs, throughout your rib cage. And empty the breath very slowly as well, out through the lips. As you continue to let the breath deepen, you might bring your palms to meet at your heart center as you connect to the energy of your heart chakra, Anahata, allowing a moment to offer gratitude for anything that comes to mind. Then start to clarify your vision for your practice today, meaning what you would like to focus on and invite into your experience. As we set our intentions and create resonant space together as we share the practice, let's join our voices in chanting Om 3 times. Inhale deeply. Bow in, honoring your body's guidance through this physical practice and your inner guidance as you tune into your intuition. Let's start to deepen the breath, closing the lips, beginning the practice called Ujjayi Pranayama, or victorious breathing technique, a way to regulate your nervous system into a feeling of balance and calm while helping your mind to focus. So creating a very gentle whispering sound by softly narrowing or constricting the back of your throat. Sustain your breath evenly in and out through your nose. Invite the qualities of easefulness and balance that you can listen to in the breath, where the breath sounds subtle, not forceful. And as you tune into that rhythm, let's make our way to stand at the top of your mat, bringing the hands behind you to clasp, or holding a strap between the hands with your thumbs pointing away from your spine. Choose whichever allows you to be able to stretch the hands at least a foot away from your lower back. And as you step your feet apart, hips distance or wider, parallel your feet. Roll your shoulders down and inhale, look up, lift your chest. Bending your knees generously, exhale, tilt your weight forward and bow slowly from your hips. Relaxing your neck. Stretch the arms further away from your lower back and bending your elbows slightly, lift your shoulder heads away from your neck. And you might allow a few breaths, gently shake and nod your head to help loosen up the neck. You might straighten one leg as you bend the opposite knee deeper, leaning towards your straight leg, gently stretching into your hamstrings. And if you're interlacing your fingers, you might switch the cross of your thumb and index finger on top. Notice if that feels any different in your shoulders. Continue to tilt your weight as far forward as you can, trying to get your hips to stack right above your heels. Then let your arms fall, drop the strap, And with your knees very bent, inhale to slowly roll your spine upright, as if you're stacking one vertebra at a time. When you arrive towards the top, shrug your shoulders, then exhale to rotate them back and down. Press down through your feet, activate the muscles in your legs. And as you relax the shoulders, join your hands at your heart center, lifting through the back of your skull. Re-envision your intention for this practice. And let's start to move to the breath meditatively in our first series of sun salutations. Surya Namaskar C. As you inhale, sweep your arms forward and roll your shoulders behind the ears. Press them down and lift the chest, gaze up. Exhale, hinge forward from your hips. Option to bend the knees. Lower your fingertips outside your heels. And inhale, step your left knee behind you to a kneeling lunge and gaze up. While holding your breath, step back to plank pose, top of a push-up. Exhale, lower your knees, then your chest, then your chin, hugging the elbows towards your ribs in Ashtangasana. Inhale, slither all the way to the ground, forward in Cobra, lightly lifting the chest as you ground the tops of your feet. Exhale, tuck your toes and lift your hips back to downward facing dog. Inhale, step your left foot forward beside your left thumb, lower your right knee and gaze up. Exhale, step your right foot forward and bow. Inhale, sweep your arms overhead in Urdhva Hastasana with a gentle back bend. Exhale, join your hands at your heart center in Padasana. Let's take one more, second side. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Plant your fingertips down. Inhale, step your right knee back, gaze up, Anjaneyasana. While holding your breath, step into plank pose. Exhale, lower knees, chest, then chin, Ashtangasana. Inhale, slide forward, entering Cobra or Bhujangasana. Exhale, lift your tailbone, downward facing or Adho Mukha Svanasana. Inhale, step your right foot forward beside your right thumb, lower your left knee, gaze up. Exhale, step your left foot forward and bow. Inhale, sweep your arms, rising into Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, hands together, Padasana. Surya Namaskar A. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana. This time, press your fingertips on your thighs, blocks, or the ground. Inhale, stretch your spine forward into half forward fold, Ardha Uttanasana. Step into plank pose and prepare for Chaturanga Dandasana. Gliding forward as you exhale, bend your elbows back to hug your side ribs. Then either lower down for Cobra or flip the toes here, inhaling to upward facing dog, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Exhale to downward dog or Adho Mukha Svanasana. Let your body be still. Steady your drishti or gaze on one spot for 3 slow breaths. When you finish the third exhalation, walk or lightly jump to the top of your mat into Uttanasana. Then press with your hands, inhale into Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale again, Uttanasana. Press with your feet, inhale, rise to Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, hands together in Padasana. Let's move on to Surya Namaskar B. Bringing the inner edges of your feet together to touch to prepare for chair pose. Empty this breath. As you inhale, bend your knees together to touch and sink your weight towards your heels as you sit low in Utkatasana, chair pose. Exhale, shift your weight forward and bow to Uttanasana. press with your hands. Inhale, lengthen forward to Ardha Uttanasana. Either step into plank and slowly lower, or lightly jump into Chaturanga Dandasana. Then inhale into Cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, lift your right leg behind you, keeping your hips facing the ground. Exhale, step your right foot forward beside your right thumb and spin your left heel down. Inhale, rise up to stand in Warrior One. Exhale to lower into your vinyasa, which takes you to Cobra or Upward Dog and back to Downward Facing. When you arrive there, inhale, raise your left leg back, keeping the hips facing the floor. Exhale, step the foot lightly beside your left thumb. Spin the right heel down. Inhale, rise into Virabhadrasana 1. Exhale again, lower into your vinyasa. Following your breath, let's pause in Downward Dog, cultivating mental focus as you steady your gaze on one focal point and tune into the sound of 3 breaths. If you're very familiar with this sun salutation B, we're going to practice it one more time, and I invite you to possibly play with closing your eyes as you practice it, whenever you might feel comfortable. Just a way of following your inner guidance. Empty the breath and walk or float to the top. Your feet touching. Inhale, lengthen to Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Bend your knees to touch. Inhale, sit back in Utkatasana. Exhale, rise up to Padasana. One last time, sun salutation B. Inhale, Utkatasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, walk or float into your vinyasa. Keep going through. When you arrive at Downward Dog, go at your pace of breath. Inhale, raise the right leg. Exhale the foot by your right thumb. Spin the back heel down. Inhale, Virabhadrasana 1. Exhale, lower into your vinyasa. When you arrive at Downward Facing, continue to your left side on your own. Listen to your breath. Maybe closing the eyes. Three breaths, pause in Downward Facing Dog. When you're ready, step or float to the top. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, Utkatasana, chair pose. Exhale, Padasana. Let's turn to face the wide width of your mat. Step the feet wide apart so that as you open the arms, your ankles pretty much land under your wrists. Take a block or two and place them behind your calves. And let's start by turning out the right leg from the hip socket. So your right leg, so that you turn it out 90 degrees, turn in the left leg 45 degrees, and align your right heel to intersect the arch of your left foot. Bending the front knee, your right knee, open your arms into Virabhadrasana 2. Let's stay for 5 breaths, whether you're steadying your gaze past your right fingertips or closing your eyes. Maybe turn the palms up and bring the thumb and first finger to touch in Jnana Mudra. This mudra, or gesture of the hand that cultivates a feeling tone, is one associated with awakening the energy of Ajna Chakra. Let's prepare for Trikonasana, triangle pose. Straighten your right leg, glide your pelvis towards your left heel and reach the right hand forward, placing it on the right side of your right shin on a block or the floor. If you need the hand to be higher, you can place it on your leg, just not pressing your knee. As you raise the left arm, spin your chest towards the sky, and once again, land your gaze with intention. Maybe placing the left hand in Jnana Mudra. 5 breaths. Let's prepare for half moon pose. Gaze ahead of your right toes and walk the right hand about 6 inches ahead of your right pinky toe out to the right corner. Drag your left foot forward and flex it off the ground, and choose to either raise the left arm just like in triangle pose, or to move into left shoulder, left hip and extension, Ardha Chandra Chapasana. To get there, bend your left knee towards your belly, catch the top of the foot with your left hand, kick the foot away as you roll the left shoulder back. Land your eyes with intention, a few more breaths. Begin to straighten the left leg if the knee is bent. Slowly step into Warrior Two. Then straighten both of your legs and parallel your feet. Let's move on to side 2. Turn out the left leg from the hip, 90 degrees, turn out, and turn in the right leg 45 degrees. Align your left heel to intersect the arch of your right foot, and bending your left knee just over the heel, open your arms and land your drishti, your gaze. You might also choose to turn the palms up by rotating from the shoulder sockets, bringing thumb and index finger to touch. Perhaps close your eyes. 5 breaths. Listen to the quality of your breathing. Let's prepare for triangle. Straighten your left leg, glide your hips back, and reach the left hand forward, placing it on the left side of your left leg, on a block of the floor, or on your left thigh. As you raise your right arm up, spin your chest towards the sky, and maybe bring the right hand in Jnana Mudra, steadying your gaze for 5 breaths. Trikonasana. Let's prepare for half moon pose. Gaze ahead of the left foot. Place your left hand 6 inches ahead and out to the left of your left pinky toe. Drag your right foot in and flex it off the ground. Choose to raise your right arm up, or maybe prepare for Ardha Chandra Chapasana by bending the right knee towards your belly, catching the top of the foot with your right hand, kicking the foot away as you rotate the right shoulder back. Once again, direct your eyes intentionally. A few more deep breaths. With your right leg straight, Begin to step into Warrior Two again. From Warrior Two, once more, straighten your legs and parallel your feet. But this time, bring your hands to your hips, preparing for a wide-legged forward fold. Prasarita Padottanasana. Roll your shoulders back and breathe in, lift your heart, lift your gaze. As you're exhaling to bow from your hips, tilt your weight forward so that you can see your hips aligned with your ankles, where your pelvis does not go behind the heels. Place your fingertips on the ground or on blocks and press down with your hands, inhaling as you stretch your spine forward, glide your shoulders back. Keep tilting your weight forward and know that you can bend your knees so that you can feel the fullest length of the spine. Walk the hands back, optional to come into tripod headstand or any variation of this forward fold. Tripod headstand only if you know how to practice it and are free of neck issues. Let's be in whatever inversion you choose for another 5 deep breaths. Speaking of physical ways to awaken the energy of your 6th chakra, inversions can be helpful to do that. If your feet are off the ground, gently place them back down. Bend your knees generously and bring your hands to your hips. Point your elbows towards the sky. And as you inhale, very slowly lift your spine upright. Let's cartwheel the hands to the top of your mat and lower from plank to the ground. Lying face down, let's begin our yin practice. You may want to put a block, pillow, or blanket just to the right side of your skull here. Slide your right arm straight out to the right with a palm face down on the floor, in line with your right shoulder. Left hand pressing the floor away beside your left shoulder. Begin to roll over onto your right outer hip. Resting the right side of your head on your prop, pause a moment there and slide your right shoulder blade further down your back to lengthen the right side of your neck. And really feel into how your body is letting you know how deeply it wants you to lean back. Feel the sensations, especially at the front of your right shoulder. If your body is asking for more depth, you could step the left foot behind you. You could explore wrapping the left arm behind you. And if all that feels really delicious and your body might be asking for more, you could also step the right foot down flat and bend the right knee towards the sky. Let's tune into about 7 to 9 more deep breaths here. Very slowly begin to roll onto your stomach, placing the block or the pillow underneath your forehead as you lie face down for about 3 breaths. And just observe your body here. Does anything feel different? Now let's transfer the prop just to the left side of your head and slide your left arm straight out to the left, resting the palm face down, aligned with your left shoulder. With your right hand on the floor beside your right shoulder, begin to press the floor away and slowly roll over onto your left outer hip, resting the left side of your head on your prop. Slide the left shoulder blade further down your back, creating more space along the left side of your neck. And tune in here. How is your body guiding you to just the right intensity or depth in the pose? Notice how this shoulder might feel differently than the first side. You might opt to step the right foot behind you, wrap the right arm behind you, maybe step the left foot on the ground too, or none of that. Let's stay another 7 to 9 slow breaths. And slowly begin to roll onto your belly again, resting your forehead on your prop and pausing to listen. Notice subtle details. Please press back into Balasana or Child's Pose. And if your forehead does not comfortably meet the ground, bring your prop with you so that the center of your forehead, which is the region in front of your third eye center, is making contact with something. Rest your awareness in the sensation between your forehead and what's beneath it. Let's pause here for several breaths, 5 to 10. Moving into rabbit pose. Begin to roll your spine upright so that you can watch a brief demonstration. I'm going to do it first, and then I'll do it with you, walking you with my words through the steps. So it begins with the knees together and the feet together, and we're going to turn the palms to face up so that you can use your forefingers, not the thumb, to slide on the inner edge of each heel, bottom of the foot. The thumbs will be on the outer heels. You're holding on to the heels. And then from here, you rest your head onto the floor towards the top of your head. As you pull your heels towards you, you begin to lift the pelvis, aiming to have the pelvis stack above your knees so that you begin to lift onto the very crown of your head by pulling your heels and lifting the hips at the same time. You don't want to feel heaviness on your skull. Those counteractions actually put less weight on your head. We'll be here for 5 to 10 breaths. And now let's practice rabbit pose together. Bring your knees together, bring your feet together, flip your palms to face up. Slide your 4 fingers on the inner sides of your heels, so the thumbs are holding your outer heels. Really hold on to your heels tightly here. Place the top of your head on the floor and steady your breathing. Begin to pull your heels towards you while actively lifting your hips high as you can towards above the knees. Use the counteractions of pulling the heels while lifting your hips to lighten the weight on your head as you bring the very crown of your head to the floor. Count 5 to 10 deep breaths before lowering back to child's pose. You might close your eyes and steady your inner gaze towards the middle of your forehead and inward towards the center of your brain. Spend at least 3 to 5 breaths resting in child's pose. Instinctively place your arms where it relaxes your shoulders and neck. When you're ready, plant your fingertips alongside your knees. Drop your chin towards your chest. As you breathe in, slowly roll your spine upright to sit. Let's slide the legs out in front of you and prepare for a seated spinal twist. Extending your left leg forward with a foot flexed. Step your right foot on the ground, either in front of your right hip or crossed outside of your left knee. Plant your right hand on the ground behind your pelvis, and as you step the sole of your right foot firmly into the floor, press your 2 sitting bones evenly down. Inhale, raise your left arm and lengthen your spine more upright. Relax the shoulders down, open your chest. Exhale, begin to rotate your chest towards your right wall. Lower your left arm to hold your right leg, or to hook the elbow outside of the thigh. Keep pressing into the ground as you breathe in and lengthening your spine up. Soften your belly as you breathe out and continue to twist for about 7 to 8 more breaths. Maybe closing your eyes if you're not already, helping to draw your attention inward. Seeing through or sensing through your other senses beside the physical eyes. Now on your next exhalation, unwind your spine and bring the sole of your right foot high onto the inner side of your left thigh for Janu Shirshasana, another posture to help bring energy flow to Ajna Chakra. Choose to either place a strap around the ball of your left foot flexed and hold the strap with 2 hands, or to eventually, with the hands alongside your leg, walk your hands forward and either hold your left ankle or clasp the hands behind the ball of the foot. So as you ground your 2 sitting bones and flex your left foot, breathe in and lift up through the back of your skull. Relax the shoulders down. Notice the natural space between your chin and chest. Try to keep that space so you're not hinging from the hips, you're not hinging from the neck, but rather you're hinging from the hips. Rotate your chest so your sternum, the middle between the collarbones, points towards just slightly to the left of your left pinky toe. As you breathe out, hugging in the front ribs, tilt forward from the hips just a little bit. Pause as you breathe in. Root down through both hips again and keep stretching through the spine and the back of the skull. Keep relaxing the shoulders and opening the throat as you fold, just to your own range of motion where you're not tensing your shoulders or the breath. About 8 more breaths here in head to knee pose. Pressing down through both hips, begin to lift your sternum. Inhale, slowly lift your spine. Relax your left foot, maybe circle it out. Now let's prepare for the spinal twist, straightening the right leg in front of you and flexing your right foot. Step your left foot on the ground, either in front of your left hip or crossed outside your right knee. Same as you did on the first side if possible. Place the left hand behind your pelvis. Press down through the sole of your left foot and your pelvis. Breathe in and lengthen your spine up. Breathe out and twist a little bit to the left. Lower your right arm to hold your left leg, or hook the elbow outside the thigh and continue breath by breath to gently twist. On your next exhalation, unwind your spine. Then bring the sole of your left foot high up against your inner right thigh for Janu Shirshasana. Choose to either place a strap around the ball of your right foot flexed and hold the strap with 2 hands, or land the hands alongside your right leg, preparing to walk them forward. Sitting up tall by rooting your pelvis, lengthen through the back of your skull. Relax the shoulders down and open your throat. Breathe in. Turn your chest towards your outer right pinky toe and exhale, start to fold in that direction, breath by breath. Pressing down through your pelvis, breathe in, begin to lift your chest, and come all the way up. Once again, roll out your right foot or point it for a moment, just relax it from that flexing. I'm going to invite you into a restorative Supta Baddha Konasana or supine bound angle pose in combination with supported fish or Matsyendrasana. So let's set up. Take your blanket, open it up so it's about the width of your wingspan. Roll it up into that long width. Smoothly and tighten a roll like this. Place your 2 blocks, one at the tallest or medium height at the rearmost edge of your mat for the back of your skull. And the second block, medium height, whether tracing the midline of your mat, so it's about 1 inch away from the furthest block, or crossing your mat, so it's about 5 to 6 inches inward. You decide what feels more comfortable for you when you're back. Now set up your legs and bring the soles of your feet together. Take your rolled up blanket and place the center of it on top of your inner ankles and feet. Tuck the ends of it under your outer thighs and hips, as thick as you need under here so that it feels snug. You can drop the knees with a sense of surrender, not trying to hold up the legs in any way. Keep your pelvis on the floor and begin to lean back. Aim for the area just below the bottom inner tips of your shoulder blades or scapula to land on the closest edge of the closest block, so that your chest can feel open and expansive while your shoulders feel heavy and releasing towards the floor. Make sure there's natural space in the back of your neck, in the front of your neck, and the back of your skull lands on the furthest block. And here's where you can adjust. Notice how high or low that furthest block needs to be so that you can keep the natural space in the back of your neck. Your throat is not completely expanded back. And then roll your shoulder bones back and slide your shoulder blades further down your back ribs. So the palms face up alongside your thighs, resting on the floor. And then take a moment to scan your body and notice if it feels generally symmetrical along the left and right sides. Make any little adjustments. A little goes a long way here of your props and bodies so that you can invite symmetry and your body is no longer efforting. Your bones can feel heavy and submit to the weight of gravity. The muscles surrounding them can soften and let go of doing. And with the eyes closed, feel the subtle weight of your eyeballs sinking into their sockets, encouraging the muscles surrounding your eyes to also relax, softening your jaw, your tongue, your scalp, softening the space between your eyebrows. You might land your inner gaze towards the center of your brain. Let's drop in. Let go of controlling the breath. Shavasana. As you continue to rest here in stillness with your eyes closed, scan around your physical body and observe how it's feeling now. Start with small parts of your body subtly moving, gently beginning to wake up the body. Maybe rub the thumbs across your fingertips. Eventually easing into simple stretching. And then slowly turning over onto your right side and resting your head for a moment. Becoming aware of the natural flow of the breath. Sensing your energy. As you're ready, begin to lift your body upright. Find a comfortable way to sit for our meditation and pranayama practice. Now, pranayama can also be a form of meditation. We'll start with Brahmari pranayama, which is bee's breath or humming breath. So sitting with your pelvis balanced on the surface below, your spine tall but not rigid, your shoulders relaxed and your heart space open. Brahmari pranayama goes like this. A simple technique of it, there's different variations, is to, so watch me first, don't do it because then you won't be able to hear me. You're gonna use your index fingers to find the cartilage just at the tip of your cheeks to gently close the ears. You're not gonna stick your fingers in your ears, you're just gently closing that cartilage towards the ear hole. And then as you breathe in, sort of like ujjayi breath, you'll create a very gentle snore by narrowing softly the back of your throat. And then when you reach the full inhalation, then at a high pitch, as slowly as you can exhale, you'll hum. Now I'll show you. Now, as you're doing this, we're closing the mouth, we're closing the eyes, and you're directing your inner gaze towards the area of Ajna Chakra, the center of the brain. Now there's a color associated with Ajna, and that is indigo. So if it makes sense to you, you can visualize an indigo light towards your pineal gland. So I'm going to demonstrate Brahmari pranayama first, and then let's practice 8 rounds at your own pace, because you won't be able to hear me as you're practicing it, so you'll have to count on your own. So that's 1 round. So again, we'll inhale through the nose, a gentle snoring sound, and then you'll exhale a high pitch, visualizing Ajna Chakra, a humming sound as you're closing the ears. All right, 8 cycles, and when you're finished, sit in Gyan Mudra, thumb and index fingers touching, palm face up on your lap, with eyes closed, visualizing Ajna Chakra. Okay, so let's begin Brahmari pranayama. When you're ready, 8 rounds. Notice how you feel mentally. What happened during your visualization? Did you notice any images or intuitive nudges? How do you feel now emotionally? As you join your hands in prayer, let your middle fingers touch the center of your forehead, just bowing in for a moment. Recognize one thing that you appreciate right now. Bringing your hands at your heart center, remind yourself of your vision or intention for this practice. Visualize to whom you chose to dedicate this practice today. Let's close the practice chanting the Bija mantra, or the seed sound of your sixth chakra, Ajna Chakra. And that seed sound is Om 3 times. Bring your mind's eye towards your third eye center and think about aiming the vibration of the sound into that region. You might picture a glowing indigo light. Inhale deeply. Connecting your intuitive center to your heart center, bringing the heart and mind together in balance. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.